And welcome everyone. Hey, it's John the Net Guy. It is Tech on Tuesday, show number 29. Summer tech and gadgets. We got some really cool stuff to show to you guys today. And thank you for waiting around just a tick for me. I had a couple technical issues. It was none of the products, it was all the user. But I'm very excited to do this. My voice is back, which hopefully sounds really good. If you guys can let me know in the chat how it sounds, that'd be great. See a few of you already stacking up in there. Hey, we got RJ is with us. Hello, John Freeman. That is my name. And another friend of the show, Jonathan Talks Hardware. He has been watching the stream for a while now, and he's looking forward to today's show. He was actually ready to go a half hour ago, and I had to tell him, hey, sorry, timeout. Coming up here. So I really do appreciate it. Today's show is actually got a sponsor, which is pretty amazing. I'd love it when they do this. And it's actually brought to you by these guys in the corner, VONT, who make cool smart home and lighting products. Let's see if this camera system works today. So can I do that? There's a light strip and a smart bulb. And guess what? That smart bulb is our giveaway today. So we are going to actually have a giveaway. So the smart bulbs will be coming up shortly, and I'll show you how they work and all the cool things about them. But if you want to jump the line, it says win us because there's actually two. It's a 2-pack of smart bulbs you can win. If you're watching on Amazon, you can take a look in the carousel, and it's actually going to have those smart light bulbs. I'm going to pop them up in the carousel, and hopefully we got a couple people watching because they are on an excellent deal right now. The price on these is 55% off. So I'm really excited about the smart bulbs. And then we also have a smart LED strip. And, you know, smart LED strips, there's a lot of them out there. This one has a lot of the right things. Some things I want to talk about specifically on this unit that I thought were neat, and the price is right. So very cool stuff coming up there. There are 2 products today that I have not touched yet at all. They're still in the box. So we're going to do a live unboxing. Help me out here because we are actually going to do basically the review live. So you guys ask those questions. Let me know what you think about the products and we'll go there. Tim Pauly, welcome, says, sounds clean. Thank you, Tim, for showing up here. And Constantine Morelli, welcome back, my friend. I'm going to just check. Oh, we got our friend John Hardwick. He's on the Amazon watching. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I see 4 of you now on Amazon watching. If you want to do me a huge favor on Amazon specifically, if you visit my Amazon URL, which is right there, Amazon/shop/thenetguy, if you visit that, you can follow me. That link is also in any of the product deals down there. If you follow me on Amazon, which we had a amazing Prime Day show. When I say amazing, I've never sold that much stuff in 2 days. It was just ridiculous. $10,000 worth of Scepter monitors went out the door during my show. That's how crazy it was. And they had some great stuff. Really, really excited to offer those kind of things. And if I get more followers on Amazon, I can actually be on their A list, and then I can be on the Saturday shows, and you might actually be able to find me. Because right now you're only finding me if you're watching on the product page. So I'll give you a shout out if you're on Amazon and it's your first time here and you give me a follow. That'll be great. So first product up is actually from a company called Fiat Electric. Now, Fiat Electric makes switches, they make dimmers, they make all sorts of cool smart stuff. It's summertime, outdoor living. How would that be complete without an LED strand strip? Now, they have many of these that people have sold over time. You know, they've become really popular for lighting outdoor areas. My neighbors have one that like lights up the neighborhood. But what's funny about this one specifically is it's LED. And that's why it's important. So I want to talk about this one. I'm going to pull it up on the carousel. This is from Fiat Electric. And this is their strip lighting, their string lighting, LED string lighting. Now, each one of these is 1 watt. So I'm guessing the total power draw on this is about 48 watts, which sounds like a lot, but you can do a lot with 1 watt of LEDs. So we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the top-down camera so you guys can see me there. So you guys can see me do this unboxing live for the first time on the show. I'm kind of excited about this. We got an outdoor gazebo, and it's honestly, it's still in the box. I have not had a chance to go ahead and open it up and assemble it. I've been told it takes like 2 days. So if any of my friends are watching, you want to come over and we'll do an Amish, barn thing here. Let's see if I can make this camera a little bit wider out today. There we go. It's a big box here. So this is one of those really cool things that I want to put up in that. Oh boy. That's the first thing. Now, screw bulbs in tightly, plug in set. If bulb does not light, tighten it further. Okay, well, that's one option. I kind of hoped that these things would be like Christmas lights where you didn't have to put 48 bulbs in. So we may do the abbreviated startup on this. We're doing, again, a live unboxing here from Fiat Electric. So that's what you're going to get in the box here today, guys. That is really kind of funny. Let me move my laptop over so I can center this all for you. This is from Fiat Electric, and this is their dimmer set. Just trying to get some room here. Oh, sorry, not dimmer set. Their LED light strip. Now, one question I had about this, and we're going to find out eventually, is if it can be used with a dimmer. That's one of my things, because maybe you want to have like nice ambient lighting outside. This would be really interesting if it could be used with a dimmer. If it can't, that limits you to full power, which would be kind of interesting on that. So I'm going to take this bulb collection, set it out here. Then I'm going to switch to the other camera so we can put this thing together. So just really quickly, there is a bulb every 2 feet on this. So there's 2 feet. There's would be a bulb that we have to put in. It says, do not overload. Design is rated for 24 watts. Well, I guess it is going to be only 24 bulbs in, isn't it? 48 foot, 24 bulb. Okay, so that makes sense. The math checks out on that. Let's go through here. That's the end. They definitely don't want you to overload this. The maximum that you can have on the other end is 1,080 watts. So you can daisy chain these, it looks like, which is kind of cool. And I don't know how many of these we're going to be able to plug in and make work, but you let me know in the chat what you think. Let's see how many of these we should throw in here. Who do we got here coming in? Z440 review from LEZ. I would love to do that, man. That would be really cool. That actually, Craft Computing did a show recently on that. That's a really good one here. So I'm going to go ahead and add in quite a few of these. Now, these are weatherproof bulbs. So that's kind of a cool thing about them is you can have this out in the rain. Now, I didn't see any sort of attachment or hooks. You know, each one of these does have, let me pull it down on the top cam for you guys. Each one of these has a hole, an eyelet in it, which you could zip tie or screw, but I didn't see anything that comes with it. And then, you know, maybe 6 inches of hanging down cord there. So I'm just going to start on one end and I'm going to add a few of these in here. They are shatter resistant plastic bulbs, but I don't want to go a little crazy on them. So Jonathan says, yeah, do a couple there. Well, you definitely want to do a few of these. And then I'm going to turn the lights down in the studio because we got a lot of lighting products coming up. And I just want to kind of compare the brightness of them. Just getting a few of these in. We got 5 so far. This is the instruction manual. Real quick, let's just make sure that there's nothing that I'm missing here. Hopefully, it's also not like a set of Christmas lights that if we don't do all 24, that something bad happens to us, because that would be bad. One thing I do like here is you got 15,000 hours on this. And then you got different wattages. Using incandescent bulbs. So apparently you can use incandescent if you had to with these. That's another interesting capability. And again, one thing I didn't see was if it was dimmable or not, but we'll hit the product page. Looks like French. Precaution, that almost looks like Italiano. And luces, this looks like the Spanish. So we got several different languages that this is available in. So very cool. That's the instruction set. Those are garbage. Throw those out. Who needs those, right? And let me see if I can find the end, and we'll give this a plug in here. Okay, like Chevy Chase. Here we go. Okay, we got light. Okay, so again, each one of these individually is not going to be super bright. Now, my studio is really bright. I got a lot of light in here going automatically, but that's the lights themselves. Let me go ahead and turn some of these lights down. And turn a couple lights down, and we'll see how this looks. Okay. So another thing about this, it's a 2200 Kelvin light. It's very warm lighting. So you're not going to have any sort of color to it. It's not going to be a any sort of white or blue tint. It's definitely going to have that yellow warm light. Not bad. See if I can get it on the top down. With the wood of the desk, yeah, it's going to look really cool. So again, ambiance for your outdoor area. So you're going to be able to hook these things up. This is only 5 of them. I'm kind of excited when we get to all 24. So there's one every 2 feet roughly. So you can see kind of how they hang out there. Now, it wouldn't be good for an indoor because they're just too big. But, with 48 feet, I could see, if you had like a 16-foot patio and you wanted to do 3 sides and lighting, this could work really cool. So I'm going to check real quick on the chat and see if I missed anything. Get over here. Looking pretty good. Okay, and just a quick reminder, if you're just joining, down here in the lower right is the giveaway from VONT. So today's show is sponsored by VONT. They are providing one of these to give away to the winner, which is awesome. So you'll get one of those sent directly from them, which is awesome. If you do sign up, remember, I am not going to be capturing your information for any purpose other than today's drawing, and you can actually let me know what kind of prize wheel name you want. We're going to pull up the prize wheel a little bit later. So I'm going to turn the lights back on because we can see those now. And, I'm looking forward to this. Once we get the actual gazebo all set up, I think that's going to be really cool. Let me show you real quick, too, where you can find all of the stuff that I have here. So if you visit my Amazon shop, and that's going to be down here at the bottom of the page. If you visit my Amazon shop right there, and I'm going to share it on my screen as well. Okay, and we are ready. So if you visit my Amazon shop, it's going to look just like this. You can come down, and I always love this because I get to see myself and make sure everything's looking good. That was my previous live. Interesting that it's not showing today's live stream in there. Well, that's interesting. LEZ is asking, what lights are you using in your studio now? That's a fantastic question. I use a variety of different lights. And Constantino Morelli started following. Thank you, Constantino, on Amazon for doing that. Quick trick here. Go to Idealists if you visit my site, and go ahead and hit this Summer Tech Week number 29. You're going to see all of the products that we're going to be looking at today. And the very first product is this one right here, which is from Fiat Electric. And that's the one we're taking a look at. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take a look for a couple different things. Oh, Edge Shopping decided to jump out on us here. We're going to go look in here. $63.99 for this. It does have 2200 Kelvin 26 2200 Kelvin bulbs. Okay, so you're getting the top and the bottom. One of my questions and something I want to look in here is dimmable. So let's do dimmable. Yes, they are. Awesome. Mega detector. Thank you so much. That's the very first question that I had on these, and he answered it here. That's another trick. If you guys don't use Amazon very often, if you go ahead and take a look at the questions area, it's kind of like reviews, but people can go back and forth. So these are dimmable. That's exciting to me because I've got an extra dimmer laying around. It's just one of those slide dimmers, and that's going to be really cool to get my outdoor area going. A couple things I like. I do like the hole that you have here for connection methods. Might be cool if they threw in a bunch of zip ties that they don't. It is nice that they packaged all of the bulbs. Let me show you guys that. So all the bulbs are here just like this. The sad part is you got to hook up every single one. So you're going to be putting 26 bulbs in. That's a little bit of a bummer, but you know what? It's better than having broken bulbs in a box. So I'll give them credit for that. As far as plugs and weatherproofing, it does have a weatherproof gasket on the one end. And I do like the fact that we can daisy chain these together. So you can do, I believe it said up to 8 of these. So, and you can also screw in a regular incandescent bulb because it's a standard bulb base, which pretty exciting as well. So that is from Fiat Electric. That's our first product. We're going to go back over here. Brandon, thank you so much for the follow. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So thank you for the follow on there on Amazon. I'm checking you guys out right now. We're going to skip over to the next product, and that is from our show sponsor, which is VONT, and it's VONT Smart LED Strips. Now, let me put these out of here without breaking them. It really is like a cooking show. I'm just going to go ahead and pull a whole computer pre-built out here from underneath the desk. But the next product, I have set this one up. This, again, is from VONT. It's their Smart LED Light Strip. So they're right here. I'm going to do a quick unboxing for you to show you what you get, and then we're going to hook them up, and we're going to play around with all the features in the app, and you're going to get to see how bright they are, which is exciting. And I'll talk about some of the things that are really nice about them. So thanks again for VONT sponsoring today's show and doing a giveaway. They're not giving away the light strip, but man, it's a heck of a deal already. They are giving away the smart bulbs, and I'm going to pull that details up here so you can see that. So that smart bulb giveaway is in that corner now. Has the address for you to get that. If you're having any sort of trouble, let me know and I'll make sure you get that. So let's go to the side here. So this is the strip itself. Now, one precaution: don't go ahead and plug it in while it's in here. I did in testing, in all honesty. So I did just a quick test of it. But honestly, that will actually generate a lot of heat. Now, this is one of their brighter bulb sets. So you can see we got 16 feet. Now, I'm not going to measure it all out, but I am going to unreel it, because if you do turn this on, you can actually overheat the paper that's in between here and all the adhesive. So not good if you turn it on in there. But we're going to lay this out, let it look good here. Now, they've got a cool, actually, I love their little packaging. It says, hey, there's more. Okay, let's open this up. Inside here, one of the first things you're going to notice is that you have these little clips. So these clips are going to be something that you can adhesive with the adhesive right there, or you can use the included screws, it looks like. Looks like there's enough of them, and you can actually clip this in through these if you want to have a backup to hold those on. This is something I've almost never seen on a smart strip, which is primer. So they want you to be able to clean the area, prime it. So that's another cool feature. And then this is something that's really cool. Now, everybody's like, oh, my smart strips, they just go into a thing and then I just use my app. Well, if you've got kids, they may not have their phone, may have lost their phone privileges, maybe timed out on screen time for the day. So you could use something like this, which actually lets you turn them on, change the color, or set the mode right with 3 buttons. Now, I really like this. That's a neat feature to have a controller built into them. So if you just want to turn them off really quick, now they do work with that home assistant that shouldn't be named, along with Google, but we'll check that out here in just a second. So that's the controller portion here that you're seeing. And then lastly, we actually have the power supply. So a really standard wall power supply, 2.1 millimeter jack as well. So that's the items that are in here. Now, VONT includes with all of their stuff pretty minimal packaging, which I like. You're not going crazy. They're putting more of their money in the product than all the really fancy packaging, but it is, while it's minimalist, I think it looks really good. So they talk about just a real quick start guide here, how to do it. Now, one thing they recommend is if you're going to make a 90-degree turn, to do a loop rather than to like bend the strip. And then these are cuttable. So if you just need 5 feet, you can cut them and get that. Another thing here, like this strip light that I have under here is probably where these are going to go, because this one's falling apart. This is from another manufacturer and it's never worked right. And I kinked it over here, and so it doesn't do any color but blue. So some things like that you learn. But this is from VONT, our show sponsor today. And you know, overall, a couple things about it. It's using the 50/50 LED bulbs, which are pretty decent quality. And they're going to have good brightness. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Now, the final attachment here, this is always where we have issues. Now, I actually fried a computer motherboard the other day because it didn't have a label the way it was supposed to be hooked up, and I just had a strip and I plugged it in the wrong way. The way that they're going to protect you from hurting yourself here is, I don't know if you can see that, but it has a little notch. And this one has a little clip. And as long as I get the notch and the clip lined up, my polarity is going to be correct. So I'm going to have the pluses and the minuses all working for me. So there is the light strip. Now that is in blue. So that's, you know, it's going to be weird because with color temperatures and all that stuff, to my eyes, that's actually blue. It looks pretty bright, but we can actually open up the VONT app here, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. Jonathan H., thank you so much for the follow on Amazon as well. Hey, we are getting followers today. I really like this. I appreciate it. What is your favorite product here? I'd say mine is the LED strip, Ellie says, or Eli. Sorry, I should be saying Eli. Yes, I think the strips are cool. Don't hold out on those bulbs. The LED smart bulbs coming up, I use those all the time. So I'm very excited about those. So here is my show phone, and I'm going to open up the VONT Home app. Now, I've got the bulb coming up, so it's already in here, but you can see my strip here. One of the things I like that they did, do you see this slider? I can let go, and it will dim those to whatever point I let go at. So the UI, whoever designed the app, really kudos, man. that's a cool feature. So I'm going to turn again the studio lights down a little bit, and so you guys can see them here. So that is the app that I can just turn them up and down with. If I tap in here, They've got all sorts of cool features. They've got a scheduling feature. They've got different modes. You can do music, scenes. So if I hit scenes here, kind of like if you've got computer RGB, you can pick a different scene here and do like the breathing. Okay, here's a vivid mode, and I'll turn the brightness up now that we're watching this. Go back out. Let's go down here. We got relaxation mode, warm. So I'm just going through the various different modes. Okay, so there's a pulsing one. So you can see it was pulsing going there. Profound. Wish I knew that. Now let's go check the music out really quick. So dynamic. And I'll do calm. So a couple different things. I don't know if this one is actually using the music from the controller. Now I do see a little tiny, it's either a reset or a microphone on the side of the controller. Now that could be kind of interesting because some of these will just listen to the music in your room. And that's a cool feature. If it has that, that would be pretty neat. But if you don't want to do that, you can always go with the static colors. So this is red. Let me go back out so you guys can see that. So that's what the red looks like. Now again, 16 feet. It is the 550 LEDs, and they're about every, let's say, inch and a quarter, maybe. So you're getting a bunch of these LEDs. And I use these a lot. Again, actually on this side of the cabinet here on the bottom side, it's actually ringed with blue ones. 16 feet would be more than enough to do a cabinet like this. And let's go check out Amazon real quick because I want to show you the pricing on these. It's fantastic. So how do we find our Amazon page? Let me get back over here and I'll show you how to do that. Again, just visiting my shop. URL is down there below across from me, which is follow and see the deals at amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. If you go to my idea list, it has all of the different items there. And if we go over here to the strips, you can see them as well. 537 ratings on here. I'm just going to take a look at the reviews. 4.5 out of 5. So not bad at all. Now, they're $19.99 right now. I did ask them, I said, do you guys have a promo code or something you want to use? But then I realized if you look at this, there's a coupon right now, at least on my screen, for an extra 40% off. Now, it wanted me to log in, which tells me that this coupon should be available for everybody. Let's see if I can align myself to the right here. So yeah, that coupon, 40% off right now. That's a fantastic deal on these LED strips. Things I like, cuttable. You can do a 90-degree angle with them. They include mounting hardware. Really simple to use. And let me show you guys one more thing. Again, I talked about the neat thing about having a manual control. So check that out. I can turn them on and off, and I can actually change the color through the different wheels of colors. That's actually a really bright green. I know it, unfortunately, my camera don't pick it up as well. That's kind of an aqua. That's more of a blue. There's a darker blue. Got a purple, and then there's the bright white. So again, good CRI on these. I don't know exactly what the CRI is here, but it's actually, not blinking on my side, which is a real big problem with LED strips, especially budget ones, is that they'll start to flicker and do stuff on camera. So if you guys are any YouTubers on here watching, I know we've got a few, there's those LED strips are really cool. I think these guys are building a computer in the chat. It's kind of funny. They've got this whole computer chat going. Let me go through and zip through and see if anybody's got questions on these. And I'm going to check the Amazon chat as well to see if anybody's got any questions about this. Again, this is interactive. It's an interactive show. Just let me know if you have any questions. Right now, we are taking a look at Vaughnt's smart LED strips. So again, application controlled, which I really like. So I can go ahead and again, open up this app for you guys, and you can see that I can turn the smart strip completely on, completely off with just one button. The other thing is I can control it with that smart home assistant. So if you know that smart home assistant by name, mine is called Alexa. Alexa, set the smart LED strip to red. Whoa, there she is. So that's pretty cool. One thing I'll point out here real quick too is that it's actually updated in the app. So I can say, Alexa, set the smart LED strip to yellow. I can try that again. Alexa, set the smart LED strip to yellow. There we go. So that's actually a yellow, even though it looks kind of green in the studio. And it's updated the app as well. So it does have integration, super easy if you've never done it before. Integration with your smart home devices. just open up that app, go into skills, and you just add the VONT home skill there. So you're good to go. I'm going to turn the lights back on here, and we're going to go to the next product, which is from VONT as well. We're going back to back here, and this is the show sponsor today, which is VONT, and it is their smart LED bulb. Now, a lot of people don't want to do major mechanical work, which I can't blame them, on their house. A lot of people are afraid of electricity. A lot of people don't want to change out a switch if they have to, or, you know, outlets or other stuff. One of the cool things about this is even if you have a lamp or something that you really like, these bulbs are compatible with it. It's a very standard bulb socket size, so you can do that. And I noticed a question here in the chat from Eli. Just got an RV, so I might use the LED strip. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, that would be really neat in an RV. I've used under cabinet lights because our RV is really dark, but these would be a great idea. And I believe they're 12 volts, which would be pretty cool. I could take a look at the thing. That's one of the cool things. This is 12 volts, 1.5 amps, 18 watts max. So if you wanted to use an RV, Eli, by the way, if you wanted just to get one of those ends, the 2.1 millimeter jacks, and connect it up properly, you don't even need the AC adapter. You could go off the grid and use that LED strip from Vaughn. So very cool. So as I was saying, a lot of people don't want to go through the machinations of doing smart home changes. And if you have, especially, you know, things that you like, maybe you've got a nice light fixture, but you want to have it smart controlled. The next item that we've got from VONT is awesome. This is their smart bulb. So let me show you the unboxing of the smart bulb. So this is a 2-pack. Now, when you buy this one, and again, great deal on this as well. There's the Live Life in Color. So hopefully you guys can see that. That's their box right there. And I just take the top of the box off. So that's keeping the bulbs from getting hurt. The other thing is these bulbs are a lot more durable than most of your standard incandescent bulbs, and way more durable than fluorescents. I can't tell you how many fluorescents my kids or I have broken dropping them. So these are definitely more durable. Not much else in the packaging. You're going to have the bottom piece here. And then just with like any VONT product here, you're going to have the quick start guide. It's going to give you a little bit of tips. It's going to say not to have the power on. I've got my pseudo wall here that we do a lot of smart home tech with. So we're going to turn that off. And then operating temperature is -4 to 104 degrees. That's right here. And a thank you card for your purchase and warranty information as well. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this one, and we're going to get started installing it. Now I can switch over to the other camera here. Interestingly enough, I put this little meter in here. Now I don't have a smart switch installed. It's bypassed, but this outlet will be active. And I'm going to grab this bulb because I think I got it right. I think this is the one that has not yet been installed. And I'm going to walk you through, once you install the VONT app and you get logged in, I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to set this up in your VONT account. And you can also add it to your smart home. So we're going to go ahead and turn everything back on. This one started up red, which makes me believe it's actually the other one. Let me undo this. I was playing with it earlier and I set one of them to red. Give me 1 second. I'm going to use this guy. I think I transposed those. It should start up with a whiter color. There we go. Okay, that's the right one. So that's the smart bulb. It's, again, pretty bright. This is just the default color. You can turn it on and off like a regular bulb. Once we open up the app, though, that's where things get a little interesting. So I'm going to open up the app right here, and I'm going to hit the plus sign. Now, you'll notice here, it automatically found this Bluetooth. So this is that Bluetooth, communication protocol. And I'm going to tap it. This bulb's going to flicker in just a second to let me know that it's connected. And we're going to be able to add this thing on the Wi-Fi. Now, you don't need your phone to manage and run the bulb. And if you're just joining, by the way, this is John, the Net Guy. I do PC builds, tech tips, gear reviews, things like that. Hey, and Amazon Lives, which I'm on right now, don't miss out. We are giving away a 2-pack of these bulbs. The URL is kitty corner me. It's on the other side there, on the other side of the screen. But that's how to sign up for the giveaway today. That giveaway is going to come up here, middle of the show. I'll keep you guys in suspense, but it's still open right now if you guys want to sign up. So now you can give it a name, and then I'm going to call this the show bulb. And why that's important is you want to give a unique name to everything that we have. Now, I just happen to save my password to my Wi-Fi. So it's going to go ahead and upload over Bluetooth the Wi-Fi information that this light bulb needs. And we should see that get connected to the Wi-Fi. There's that flicker we were looking for. And we are good to go here. Doesn't take the full 100%, I promise. One thing I noticed too is that this one came with the firmware already updated on the other bulb at least. So that was a really cool thing. So there, just about 15%. It got connected to my Wi-Fi. It's ready to go. And one thing I like is the consistency of the user interface. So we've got the music, scenes, all the other stuff. If I want to change the color, now I just change it to yellow. There's a blue color, which I use often in my show. There's a purple. If I don't know if our friend Pinky Tech has shown up today, but he uses purple on his channel. Zachary says, I just love the demo wall. I do too. Welcome back, Zach, new homeowner, my friend. You got a lot of smart bulbs to buy now, man. I might have to send you guys some down there as a housewarming. There's green again. We're just playing around in the app here. Again, this is adjustable down to almost nothing. Now, my studio is really bright. I just have to tell you that. So this has a very soft green glow that you can see. That's the 1%. Now I can go ahead and crank it up, and then that's the 100%. And then if you switch it back to the normal white palette, the normal colors, like there's warm white, it's going to have a lot more brightness on the standard primary colors. Sorry, the standard white colors than it will on any of those other colors. That's just a normal thing. There's a lot more LED in there. You can also do a color wheel if you really want to dial this in exactly. Maybe you're trying to match your studio lights to each other. You want an orange color. There you go. So it's definitely changing the light as I'm spinning it around the wheel. You can see it change there. Really easy to use. And what's cool about this is hopefully it's already been discovered by that smart lady we talked about. Alexa, turn off the show bulb. There it goes. So it's already connected to my smart home. I didn't have to do anything else other than add it to the app. And because my app is linked with my smart home technology assistant, that it's going to work correctly right out of the box. So that was like a 10-second install. You can screw in a light bulb. You can have a smart product, which is pretty cool. Again, coming from the VONT company, I'm going to show you again the URL that you can sign up for this at. And I'm just going to bring it up on my computer to make sure. And that is thenetguy.com/VONT. You'll know you're there if you see a really large light bulb. I didn't scale that down. All you do is fill out your name, email, in case I have to get a hold of you. All of the winners from the last show, man, what a blast. They had such a good time. I had a great time, setting them up, and they've actually been receiving their products already. I got a message last night from one of them that got their Blink camera. So these things are real. Again, I'm giving all of these away to you guys just as a thank you. Let's go take a look real quick on Amazon at their smart LED bulb. So these are the bulbs right now. Again, 55% off. They're normally $40. These smart LED bulbs are available right now. Let me get that in the right mode here for you guys. There we go. So again, $17.99. They've got 3,098 ratings here and a 4.2. So 4.2 on these ones right now. And hey, guess what? There we are. We're scrolling through the page here. And that is $17.99. So fantastic deal on two. If you want to buy one, it's $9.99. So if you just want to test it out, again, that link that you'll see in the description, if you hit the link in the carousel right now, it's going to take you here. And you can switch it up or down. If you want three, looks like there's a little bit of four. There's a little bit of a break. Actually, a pretty good break at the 4 quantity there. It looks like it's 20% off. So you could definitely pick that up and get a great deal if you wanted to do 4 of these. I'll tell you, I've got a lot of these smart bulbs everywhere in here. Eli was asking earlier, I've got 2 bulbs. Sorry, should do like that. I have a bulb over here from a different manufacturer. I'm going to test these out and see how they work. I do have some flickering that happens on these other bulbs at times, especially at the higher brightness. So I'm going to try this out. I have a key light up here. So I've got 3 smart bulbs already, not counting the other studio lights that are in this area. So very cool feature. I'm checking a look here. HomePod would be cool. He's asking. So I don't know if this one supports HomePod. That's a great question, but definitely it's just software and programming at this point, and maybe some licensing for Steve Jobs benefit fund, but we'll see. So that was from VONT Company. That is their smart bulbs. Feel free to keep signing up. The giveaway is open right now. I will pull that image about 5 minutes before we do the drawing, because I've had some people complain that they were halfway through the form, and I don't want to have that happen again. So I'm going to pull that here in just a few minutes. We're going to go right on to the next product because we've got lots of cool stuff to go through. But that was, again, was from VONT. I want to thank them again for their show sponsorship and doing the giveaway for us here, sponsoring that giveaway so I can send you free products. If this is your first time here, it's John the Net Guy. Again, I do tech on Tuesdays. Normally starts at 5:30. It started at 6 today. It's been a week. And we were taking a look at the products from VONT. We have a product coming up, which I am really, really excited about. I've been teasing this on all my social media for the last few weeks. And it's one of those products that people were calling me. They saw that thing and they're calling me saying, is this what it actually sounds like? And it absolutely is. And that is a smart freezer. This is a portable freezer from the guys at Astro AI. Now, let me get this up on the carousel because I don't want anybody to miss out on this thing. And you're like, oh, who needs a smart freezer? That seems kind of gimmicky, right? So did I. I said the same exact thing. Here it is. I should turn it around, but you won't get to see the display. But let me show you the branding on it. It's about the size of a 35-liter Yeti, I would say. Very similar in size, but it's from the company Astro AI, which makes multimeters, makes a whole bunch of other really cool electronics. I want to zip it around here so you guys can see the front panel because it's got a smart panel up there. It's digital. So it's not just your dad's Coleman cooler, but it has a lot of really cool things going for it. So let me pull this up here. Hopefully you guys can see that and it's not all washed out. So it is flickering a little bit, but one of the things I want to show you, and maybe I can lower some of the light. There we go. I'm going to lower down some of the light here so you can see it. It's flickering on camera, but that says 4 degrees. Now, I don't know where you get your ice, but I've never been able to have a summer that was at 4 degrees in my cooler. Now, I'm going to open this thing up, and I'll show you in the top-down view. I don't know if I can get the whole thing in here, but it's cool. I've got a whole bunch of cool stuff in here already. Now, you're like, oh, that's cheating. You've got an ice pack in here. No, this is a cold pack for our kids. They're constantly getting hurt, bumping into things. If you get an injury or you just want to cool off a little bit, I can keep this ice cold. So this isn't actually cooling the cooler down. It's the other way around. The cooler is actually cooling this down. So that's pretty cool. Other things that you could never keep in your cooler. Well, I don't know if you should keep keto ice cream, but these are my wife's, so I stole them. And this is keto ice cream, but this is actually ice cream. And let's open it up. It's not open yet, but it's hard. It's actually ice cold. Now, it has a removable basket. We're going to go up there on YouTube, or it's not YouTube, on Amazon, and we're going to check the Amazon page for this because I'm telling you, this thing is so cool. Let me get my lighting back working again. So a couple things about it. Again, it has a little area here that you can put stuff in. It's digitally controlled, and it does 120 or 12 volts. So it comes with a 12-volt cord, so you can use this in your car, boat, RV. Eli, you've got a new RV, man. This thing is really cool. So your RV fridges are constantly, they're just about this size of a freezer, honestly. So you can't put a lot of stuff in there. And I actually just used this recently and I'm loving it. So this is some soda as well. If I've got this thing at 4 degrees over here, how do I have non-frozen milk and non-frozen, bubbly here? And that's because this is the refrigerator side. So they cool this area down and it's really cold. I wish you could see the frost, but it's actually got a little bit of frost that's starting just from being open. Now, I had a friend of mine, the first time I showed him this and I said, hey, I've got this cool portable freezer coming on. He's like, oh yeah, it's a Peltier cooler. It's not going to work as well. Because a lot of those soft-sided ones that you'll buy, they're a Peltier cooler. That's the technology. And they only drop the temperature like 30 degrees. This will actually keep ice frozen. And, when the first time I lifted it up, it wasn't actually that heavy. And I was like, it's interesting compared to another cooler. It's a little bit heavier than you would expect. But then the other thing is you're going to grab at least a 16-pound or 2 7-pound bags of ice and throw them into your normal cooler of this size. Whereas the weight that's on this, and that's actually the compressor down over here on this side, the weight that's on this is just going to stay the same. So you can add just the weight of food, which keeps it really cool. Now I've got it plugged in on this backside. I'm going to show you real quick. So I've got it plugged in with this simple wall. It's like a laptop charger. Let's see, 14.5 volts at 6 amps. So that's plugged in. Let me zoom out a little bit here. There you go. So that's plugged in down here with this specialized connector. Now they also include a really long, now I like to do the length test, 1 Mississippi, 2, that's a 12-foot cord. That is a 12-foot, 12-volt cord. Now I'll show you some pictures of how I was using this recently, but you plug this in the back of your car and plug this in, or if you don't have an outlet, again, it's 12 feet, you can plug this in the front of your car. You can plug this in your car and leave the cooler outside. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. So again, 12-foot cord is a huge win. And again, this is from the Astro AI company. Let me go bring that front screen again, because I want to show you all the cool features that it has. So we'll get that over here, and I'm going to see if I can bring that up. Now, again, I've got this set to 4 degrees, but you'll see that it's at 8 degrees now. Hopefully you guys can see that. So it's showing 8 degrees and 13.9 volts. Now it's 14. So that's putting out 14 volts. It uses at max 8 amps, which is a lot of power, again, if it's trying to cool down. And there's a little fan in here. It's basically a scaled down refrigerator, a freezer, essentially. So if you don't want things to be that cold, oh no, my side camera just decided to quit on that. Oh, well, we'll figure that out later. But if you don't want the things that cold, you can actually go here, and I'll see if I can get my top-down rig to do this for me. So you can actually just change this up, and I can say, no, actually, I want it to be, let's say just really cold. I want it to be 35, 34. So you can set that to 34, and it's going to, the thermostat in this is going to set this to 34. Now that would cool ice and ice cream. You don't want to have a leak in here. You don't want water in here. That's the purpose. There is no need for ice in this one. Again, it makes its own cold, so you don't need to add ice to it. But if you set it up a little bit higher, you can use it as a smart refrigerator. So that's another feature, another benefit real quick there. So that's another cool thing. And if you do set it up as a freezer, you can put some items up here that can be a little bit warmer, and that will keep them refrigerated. So a couple things I really like about that. Now, it does have a cord here to keep the lid from opening too far. It does not look like it's removable, so your lid's going to be stuck there. It does have a small light. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can on the top. So that has a little interior light. So if it's dark out and you're trying to use this thing, it is an absolute find. I'm telling you, I was very excited when they said, hey, do you want to check this thing out? And Hefe, thank you so much for joining. That's awesome. We're taking a look at the Astro AI smart. I'm going to call it a smart freezer, but you can set it and it's portable. So I'm going to get their logo out here. So you can set it to whatever temperature you want. Now it goes down to -4 Fahrenheit, which I haven't gotten that low on it. I've set it to like 0 for ice cream and stuff. And it goes up higher than that. You can set it to above freezing temperatures if you just want to keep things cool. So very cool. I've seen a lot of people that really like these things. I've talked to a few people that use different models. One thing that would be nice is if it hinged sideways. That's the only improvement I could see is, in certain places, having a hinge that goes this tall is a little bit cumbersome, but again, gives you full access to the interior. If it hinged up vertically, that would be pretty cool. Let's go take a look real quick at the Amazon page for it. I'm going to bring that up here so you can see it. That is the wrong button. Give me 1 second. So let's bring up the Amazon page for this. Now we're going to count the number of sodas that it can keep. It's 37 quart, which is 35 liters. So comparable if you're looking at the Yeti, they think they have a 35 liter model. So it's going to get to 32 degrees in 30 minutes when empty and about 45 to get to -4. So it gets down to freezing in 30 minutes. 45 minutes gets to its max lowest temperature of -4. Does have 12 volts or 24 volt DC. Okay, that's kind of cool. It consumes 1 kilowatt of energy per day. So, everybody's going to be like, okay, what's a kilowatt? And if you've watched some of my other shows, we get into that stuff, but a kilowatt is 1,000 watts of energy, which is the same as running a 50 watt light bulb for 20 hours, a 100 watt light bulb for 10. So 1 kilowatt of energy usage, that's pretty economical for what you're getting here. And I'm trying to figure out the number of soda cans that it can hold, because that was kind of cool. So there's the different modes, the eco mode. There's the refrigerator capability and the freezer capability. Eli's asking, hey, when are you going to do the next PC video? I might even do one as early as next week. I have a 12700K that is itching to get built. So there we go. 36 12-ounce soda cans is what it's saying here. 12 bottles of rear wine. I think they mean red wine there. So 12 red wine bottles. You can keep those. Normally you wouldn't chill those. Very low noise. It's been running the entire show in the background here. So if you guys haven't heard it, that's how quiet it is. It's not making any rattling sounds or anything. One thing I would say is if you're using this one, you want to, the difference on this versus other coolers, you want to keep the sides clear here. That's one thing that they point out. I'm going to show you some of the protection features on it. We're going to run over that real quick. I have some pictures of using this earlier. And so I'm going to show you guys that real quick. Just going to pull that up. And we'll talk through it. I have to log in. Sorry. I'd probably have this all set up if I were a fancy host. We're going to log in real quick, and then I'll be able to show you guys this as well. I need to confirm with two-factor authentication. Oh, somebody says I'm the Bob Ross of PCs. I don't know if that's a compliment. I think it is. I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate it. We're taking a look right now, and we're taking a look at the Astro AI Smart Cooler. And I'm going to show you real quick how I use this thing. And I'm just going to pull up the pictures, and you guys can see it real quick. So one of the questions that people are going to inevitably ask, they're going to say, hey, can this thing drain the battery in my car, leave me stranded in the woods, and a bear is going to eat me? Well, no, not exactly. So this thing has several different protection modes. I want to show you guys that real quick. So I'm coming over here on the manual. It has these battery protection levels. This is great if you have a boat and you go, traveling like I do. So you can set high, medium, or low ranges. And I set it to the, I think it was on high range, and it worked really well. So what that means is if you turn your car off and it's starting to drain the factory battery down, it'll actually stop itself from doing that. So here's some just glamour shots of it in the studio that I took before we went live. So yeah, if you do follow me on one of those other services, you knew about this almost a month ago already. And this is in my kitchen getting it ready. That was the other cool thing is, you get your cooler out, you start filling it up for a trip or do something, and the ice is already melting. You got to scream to close the lid, do whatever. This thing is a portable freezer refrigerator, and it plugs into the wall, so you can actually keep the food cold continuously. There's no shock factor as it goes in. This is just me real briefly, loading up the unit in the back of our battle SUV here, and just showing you how easy it is. And it fits in our SUV. It fits two ways. It actually fits in where the seat is like this lengthwise. It also fits with the seats up sideways. That was another really cool feature of it. There is showing the temperature, and it's actually showing that my battery was really low. It's only at 10.7 there. So it was actually dropping below. And what it'll do is it'll shut off after it senses that for a while. So you can use this thing camping. This is where we used it. This was out at our camping property, and I used it to keep items cold. This was, just showing some of that. It's at 0 degrees. That was the interesting thing here that was surprising to me. So no more ice ever again. So this is actually kind of a cool test that I did on it. I said, it can't possibly be that. Now it says 2, but it was actually, I think 25. And I used the Astro AI meter to test that. So let me show you guys how that works real quick. So let me see, it's over here. So Astro AI, like I said, they make a lot of really cool things. If you watched my show previously, this is actually their smart multimeter. Very cool features that this one has, but it actually has a thermocouple with it. So this is how you can actually test very sensitive measure temperatures. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on, and we're going to just see what this thing is at in the different zones so you can kind of get an idea. So I'm plugging the thermocouple in, and then I'm going to select the different functions, and I'm going to go to Fahrenheit, Celsius, and then I'll let you guys see from the top down rig. So right now my studio is about 65, which is correct. That's what it is. I'm going to go ahead and open this thing so you guys can see it. And we're going to throw this thermocouple in and we're going to let it acclimate for a second. I'm going to put it down here, by the ice cream. And you can see this thing is dropping dramatically right now. So we're at 48, 47. I've left it in there a while. That we saw in that other picture, it got down there 27 on 25. It does have insulation in it too. So if you're not plugged into power, it's not like everything spoils immediately. I think it was heating at about 5 degrees every half hour to an hour. Again, you'll have to play with it to see, but you can see it's already, getting acclimated here, that thermocouple. After a while, it'll tell us what it is, but we're heading south of freezing here. Now, I did change this up to 20. Let's see, what is it at? I had it up to 34. If you guys remember just a little bit ago, I cranked it up. So it's already coming back up there. So it'll get below that. But if I take it up into the upper area now, I'm going to bring the thermocouple up here. And again, it might get the air temperature, which might be a little bit different as this thing opens and closes. So again, definitely much warmer up in that section. Again, air temperature, I'm opening and closing it. So this should stabilize, but it'll definitely be warmer in the upper part of the unit. And this is kind of funny, but another product from Astro AI, one of their really cool products. So I think we're getting ready for the giveaway. Let me take a look here. Jeremy's asking a question. Does it have a battery or just rely on insulation? No, this actually plugs into your car. No battery built into it. Plugs into your car, RV, boat, or it plugs into a wall outlet. It was saying that it uses 1 kilowatt total a day, so about the same as a 50-watt light bulb. On 12 volts, it uses a maximum of 8 amps. And hey, who's this guy? A super chat coming in from our friend Andrew Preston. Frozen volume and freezer will increase efficiency. That's true. That was the other interesting thing here is I kept thinking it's like, well, I guess maybe some of you might be asking too. They're like, well, is that enough room for all of my goodies, right? You've got all this. It said it does 36 soda cans in here. Is that enough room? Remember, there's no ice in this. So you don't have to load days worth of ice in this, especially if you're going somewhere with your car. You can plug it in occasionally and keep it cool. Or if you're going on a boat, which is where I plan to use this tomorrow, we're heading out on the boat. So I'm going to take this out with me. So that's another really cool feature. Or if you're going somewhere that does have 12 volts, if you're going to 120, if you're going to a cabin or something that has a regular wall outlet, you can throw this in and your smart cooler is now keeping itself cold. So really cool tech here. Really like that one. Let's take a look real quick at the Amazon one more time. And let me make sure I haven't forgotten any cool pictures for you guys of using this, because I had some fun experiences with it. Oh yeah, this is one I wanted to show you. This was a camper that was actually parked next to us. And I was like, oh man, this would be perfect for this little tiny pop-up. They have a pop-up trailer. It was being towed by a Honda. Now they've got a Yeti version there. And those Yetis, I don't know if you use them. They're incredibly bulky, incredibly heavy. You add in a bunch of that rotomolding plastic. You add in a bunch of ice to them and you really run out of food storage very quickly. I'm excited about this one because it is insulated, but it does have that active cooling from the power there. This is the boat we're heading out on tomorrow, and that's where I'm excited to use this one. And there is me. This is one other thing I have to show you that was so cool. We took some stuff to some friends. One of them was having a surgery. Let's see if I can pull this up side by side. One of them was having a surgery, and I wanted to bring this up to her. We had a couple frozen meals. Now, they live over an hour away. So the last thing you want to do is make some frozen meals, put them in a cooler, have the ice melt them, get all wet, or worst case, frozen bag or freezer bag, and you get it up there and they're half thawed out anyway. So check this thing out. There is one right there. This is a 13 by 9. I don't know if they planned it this way, but if you take the basket out, it fits 13 by 9 frozen items in there. Give me 1 second. I got to pull that caption out of the way. Let me get that graphic out of the way here, just so you guys can see the full video. There we go. We had 3 of these that we were able to take out. And, there was one last one on the bottom, which I think we might see here. And I was able to also, if you see in that upper area, I was actually able to take frozen vegetables and chicken in the upper area. So I was able to fill this thing almost completely full. Again, we took that out to a friend's. It was awesome. That's how I plugged it in the car. Now I faced it forward that time so we could see the display on it. I do want to show you real quick. That's how it fits in, when you got a bunch of other luggage. This was what we actually made for dinner. That was the stuff that was in the freezer that never had a risk of that chicken getting to a dangerous temperature. And the frozen veggies worked out great. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, this is the dreaded F1, which is actually good. So my battery in my SUV is not great. I shut the car off, it drops down to like 12.5. When it gets down to this 12.1 level, I have this thing set to high. You see the little H. I'm saying keep my battery reserve really high on the car. So what it did is when it hits that 12.1, F1 mode kicks on and this thing shuts itself off to protect it. So you're never going to get stranded. So that's one of the big problems. If you have a smart cooler that doesn't have this voltage protection, you could actually find yourself stranded. You'd have cold sodas or whatever, but you don't have that. The other cool thing about this is it's not a Peltier cooler. So a lot of people, see these things and they think that they're Peltier coolers. This was kind of a funny story. We actually did not remember to bring the wall adapter for this on our last trip last weekend. So there was my wife's Haagen-Dazs. I literally bought this at the store and I threw it in the back of the car. Well, we got to the hotel. We put the little Haagen-Dazs in the freezer. Before we left, we said, oh, we need to get that. Well, those little mini fridges are so inefficient. This thing was cold in 30 minutes, of our trip, but those are so inefficient that it actually melted her ice cream and then refroze it as a big mess inside the fridge. So it was just a super big mess. But yeah, there we go. We were just the Clampets moving this weekend. It was pretty funny. So we had a really good time. But this is from Astro AI. I can't say enough good stuff about it, honestly. But let's go take a look here at the Amazon page. Now, $219 is the price. There are several different models of this. I want to make sure you get the right one for your size. 37 quarts or 35 liters is the one that I've got here. That's going to be $219. They make a larger one. Looks like it's a lot taller at 48 quarts, which is nice. And then they have this monster one at 55. Yeah, that's definitely an RV model here. Again, has the ability to use 110 or 240 volts. Works as both a refrigerator and a freezer, -4 degrees all the way up to 68 degrees. So I'm going to take a quick look at Amazon to see if I have any questions on the Amazon. Do you have this connected to an outlet in your car? Did I miss that? Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. Don't want you to forget that. Let me go back here and I'll show you how I had it plugged in the car. So in my car, I have a 12-volt outlet over here on the left side. Actually, almost all of my cars have this now in the back. If you don't have one in the back, they include a cord that's 12 feet long. So 12-foot long cord. I had to bunch most of it up over here, but that's exactly what you do to hook it up. That was a great question. Thank you so much, Constantino, on that one. The big one is really nice. That's what they all say. So yeah, this is from Astro AI. I want to thank these guys again for sending this out. You may see a longer review video on my channel if you're one of those lucky people that follows me, and you'll get to see more about this thing, probably in a more polished format. But I really, really enjoyed this. I didn't know that I was going to like it as much as I did. We camp where there's usually 12 volts or 120. We're not like backpacking this thing up a hill, but if you think about it, most of the time you do have power where we're going nowadays. So that's really cool. So again, from Astro AI, very cool product from these guys. And we're going to move on to the next product. Got a couple more products to go through. And this one is one that I have not tested before. So let me go ahead and put this out of the way. And again, that's going to keep the stuff that I have in there nice and frozen. So we're not going to have any issues. This is a Bluetooth speakerphone from the eMeet company. Now, is this summer tech and gadgets? It is, because it arrived in the summer, but I didn't want you guys have to wait any longer for this one. This, again, is from the eMeet company. Now, I've actually bought eMeet products before they actually reached out to me. So when they reached out to me and said, hey, we've got a really cool wireless speakerphone, we saw that you do some, of those conferencing equipment, items. I said, absolutely, send this thing over. I'm excited to test it out, because for our church's men's group, that's what I originally got one of these for. At the start of the cerveza virus, I think you're supposed to call it, at the start of this recent timeout that we all had, everybody was working from home. Everybody was trying to do everything over Zoom. Man, I got to not talk and try to open things at the same time. And so, these products were really popular and very hard to find at the same time. So I found one from eMeet. I think it was their older model now, but it was a USB conferencing phone, and it worked out really well. So we were able to plug it in. We used it with our Zoom calls. I'm liking this one because it's portable and it's Bluetooth. So you're going to get a lot of capabilities out of this. Let me put that down there. Again, from eMeet, we're going to do that top-down view. We'll do our standard unboxing here. Give you guys a little bit tighter view because it's a smaller product. So we'll take a look at that. I think Eli got the joke. Okay, so there we go. Collaboration for creation, it says right there. Absolutely. Oh, okay. I'm liking this already. Again, like I said, this product has not been out of the box yet. This is brand new to me, giving you my first impressions. It's from eMeet, their Office Core series. This is the M3. So that's the new one that's came out. I think I had the M2 or one of the other ones. So it's got the standard buttons, the mute button. I'm liking the size of it. Now I'm trying to hope that there is a cord, which there is in here for charging and plugging in. So there it is. Oh, perfect. Now, if you don't have Bluetooth, I'm guessing you can use that included USB-A Bluetooth dongle, and that fits in the bottom. Okay, so that's checking off a lot of boxes here for travelers that may be in a hotel. So we're going to test this thing out. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to, let me try a couple things. It's got a user manual, got English. There's the warranty information. I'm going to use this user guide real quick. We're going to take a look at what it talks about. Okay, standard mute, volume, answer, microphones. Now this, I believe, has 4 distributed microphones. So yeah, 4 noise reduction mics and an 18-hour talk time. I'm assuming when it's fully charged. Now we're going to be really lucky if I can plug this thing in USB and use it that way, or if this is just for charging. So we're going to find that out real quick. And hopefully you guys can see this. Now this is not your average, like Bluetooth speaker that you're going to listen to some basic music on, right? This is definitely some conferencing equipment that people would use in business, but very nice to have. Now, again, I didn't even see that. Wow. So it's going to have USB-C right there. It's going to have a headphone port. It's got a link port. Now, what I was reading about the link capability is that you can actually connect multiple of these in a conference room. That's always been a problem in very large conference rooms. Even the best microphone still needs to have remotes. Apparently, you can use these together and link them with that cord, and you can have multiple distributed, which is pretty slick as well. So USB Type-C plug. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Hopefully you guys heard that. So Bluetooth connection, press and hold the Bluetooth, enter pairing mode. It's not paired, status indicator flashes. Okay, so it has that Bluetooth capability. We have our volume up and down capability. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. We're going to pull it on the top camera. So again, from eMeet, this is their M3 we're checking out live today. It's definitely getting quieter, increasing as well here. That's pretty loud already. I'm going to see on my computer. It's already shown up. So it was a plug and play. I don't know if you guys can see that here. So on my computer, I'm just going down here to the lower corner and I'm looking at it and it's already taken over. So it's the audio output device. Let's play some sound on it. I just want to give it a quick test of how the sound is. Oh, wow. That was apparently very loud. I'm going to turn this down a sec. Give me one sec here and we will bring up, I have to get royalty-free music. Sorry, I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm going to go to my account that does royalty-free music and I will sign in there real fast and we will go from there. So again, this is the product from eMeet. I'm just going to look real quick here. German Eye, thank you so much for the follow. That's awesome. I really do appreciate it. On Amazon. And Jeff Simbajon, thank you so much. USB-C, somebody says, yeah, this thing is nice. So yeah, from a company perspective, this thing's very nice. A lot of things like this would live permanently in your company's conference room, but for a small business, I could see this working out really well. Give me one second. I am just getting logged in to my royalty-free music subscription. And we'll go there. Okay. Howling at the Moon. Now, I'm going to have to pause this because I need to set one thing. Right now, I have my speakers and they are noise canceling. Let me adjust this real quick. And you guys should be able to hear the audio that's coming out of this thing. Give me 1 second. And noise suppression are off. So there's that. And okay. Kind of as expected. Now, the audio on this is not going to be super bassy, but again, it's actually got decent and clear audio. That's the thing that you want in a conference speakerphone. So that's something we're going to check out. I'm actually going to switch my microphone. Now, I did not plan this, but I'm actually going to switch my microphone over to this if it allows me to. And we're going to see what it sounds like here in the app. So give me 1 second. And we're going to go over to my restream. I was not planning this. I'm going to have to mute my other microphone here. And then I can unmute this local one. And we should be able to hear what I sound like. So my audio input is now going to be the Office Core M3. Now, it's going to sound very different. I know that. Oh. I had to mute myself because I'm on this one. You guys can hear that. If you guys can hear that, I want to see if I'm actually getting the input properly. Maybe even hearing me double. Sorry, again, we're just trying this live for the first time now. And we did add a brand new device, so checking that out real quick. Looking in here, and I don't know, I don't see it. Heard for a second. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Testing now on this. Okay, so Paul says good now. So again, I was looking at the wrong mic level, I guess. So now I'm talking, and I don't have... Chalk that one up as a demo failure in my part. It's not this thing, obviously. I didn't have the Restream app set up to take this as an audio input device yet, so we'll have to play with that. But I'm excited to test this thing out on Bluetooth specifically. Again, from the eMeet company, this has got an included Bluetooth dongle. So if you've got a device that doesn't necessarily have Bluetooth, it has the Bluetooth dongle and you can connect over it. I really wanted to do an audio test of this live, but that's what we get. I will be doing a full unbox and demo of this on my channel here very soon. You'll also see that on Amazon Live. I put all of the videos of the stuff that I do here. Those go up on Amazon Live. If you want to check that out, let's talk about that real quick. And I'm actually going to do the demo drawing here in just 1 sec. But if you do ever want to see all of the stuff that I have, if you visit the shop/the net guy, I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. And shop/the net guy. Take a look at that page real quick. Window, share. There we go, and you guys should be able to see that. So if you visit shop/the net guy, if you come down here, you'll see the live streams that I'm doing. This is the eMeet that I have here. You can also visit my Summer Tech Week idea list. If you go into there, it's going to have all the products, including ones that are coming up. So it's going to have all the products that we talked about. The eMeet is right here, available for $199 with Prime shipping, including $50 off right now. So it does have a clippable $50 off coupon, so you can definitely save that. So it comes down to $150. I'm excited about that one. I think it's going to be really cool. So again, this is from the eMeet company. Let's talk about some of the cool things that it has. Directional AI 360-degree microphones. It's got a Red Dot 2022 award for design. That's also pretty cool. For industrial design, that's pretty neat. Noise reduction, echo echo cancellation, voice amplification, and full duplex. So you can talk and listen at the same time. If you're Spanish or you like to argue, that's really important. So that's one of the cool things there that they have. And this was the link item that I thought was neat. So it's saying use alone for 12 people, but you can daisy chain these together with that link cable, and you can get them to a large conference room. Again, if you've seen the price of conference technologies, they are not cheap by any stretch. So very cool that they're offering this at $150 with coupon right now. And there's a video about it. I'm not going to go into all that stuff, but yes, it is actually showing red right now, which I should show you guys. Everybody's always worried about not being on mute. There was even a Kickstarter for like a little red thing that would show when you're muted or not muted. This thing is definitely showing red, and when I unmute, it's doing the directionality. It's like Simon. It's actually going around to where it's hearing the audio from. So that's the directional microphones that it has. And then when you hit it again, it just turns all red, so you get that nice red ring to know you're on mute. Always very cool. So I'm going to let this thing charge up, and I'm actually going to play around with it and do, like I said, a full review video for it. But this has an 18-hour battery life. So I could definitely see this if you're traveling somewhere, you don't want to be on a headset the whole time. You could bring this, use it as a Bluetooth speakerphone as well as a Bluetooth speaker. So it has some capabilities there. Again, from the eMeet company, this is brand new. Their Office Core M3 wireless speakerphone. So Bluetooth capability, plug-in capability, and includes a Bluetooth dongle if you're not lucky enough to already have that capability on your PC or laptop. And a pretty cool travel kit. So again, to hide this cord, I can wrap this up, put it back in the top portion. I can take the manual that it came with, slide that back into the top portion, and then if I turn this off, there it goes, turned off, made a sound that was going off, and I can slide this in there. So that was from the eMeet company. Very cool. Office Core M3. We're going to go on to the next product real quick, which is actually from a new company. This is, I'm going to call it the Kiko's water bottle. So again, it's summer. I'm just pulling this up on the carousel. And actually, before I do that, let me get the giveaway going, because I know there's a couple products left. I know a lot of you guys have been very patient. I see quite a few of you are watching right now. Let me get that drawing going here. This is for the VONT. Let me see if I can find the box for it that I just put. The VONT Smart Bulbs. So you're going to win 2-pack of LED smart bulbs. I'm going to pull them up on the carousel. I'm going to save this next product. So we're going to go back on here. Really interesting to see how this would do for boondocking. You should do an RV camping tech channel. This, you could bring real world experience. Thanks, Constantino. I really do appreciate that, man. I try to keep it real. You know, we use the products that we receive here, and I do have to thank the companies that have sent these things out for a fair and honest review, because that's just the way that I roll, and I'm happy that I'm able to do that. So if you guys have been watching, we've been doing a giveaway. I can't give you the URL anymore because it was down there, and I don't want anybody to miss out on it, you know, that had signed up, but we did have to close that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the entries for this one. Give me 1 second, and we're going to do a giveaway drawing here. And I see quite a few people have signed up, so I'm going to export this, download, and I'm going to open it up here. Okay, I have to do one more check here just to make sure. Anthony, I think you put a phone number in there, my friend, and I'm not going to put your phone number out on the internet. So I'm just going to say Anthony. Sorry, my friend. I see a couple other people here are signed in. And again, this is for the 2-pack of smart bulbs. Let me pull them up on Amazon just so you guys know what you're getting. I will bring that up. And if you're not lucky enough to win, now, again, I have no dog in this fight. I want everybody to win. I unfortunately can't do that for everybody. But this is the smart bulbs from VONT. Again, I do appreciate them for sponsoring this section of the show. I'll bring that up here. And $17.99, they're $40 normally. They're 55% off. I showed you how to use them. Again, very cool app features. If you want to get 2, they're $17.99. If you want to get 4, they're down to $6 each. They are $23.99. So we're going to go ahead and do the spinning wheel giveaway here. I have to get that all configured, and I'm going to run that here in just 1 second, and we'll get it going. See, I tell you, I have this one problem. When I use Edge browser with our spinning wheel, it does not like to copy my submissions. So give me 1 second here. Just have to make it in one list, and then it will go. 1 second. If you guys are in this enjoyable heat wave, apparently it is 87 degrees outside here in Seattle, and that is a heat wave. But if you guys are in this heat wave with all of us here, hope you're getting to stay cool. I'm going to go ahead and put the entries in, and then I'm going to go to settings. We got our sound, apply. Constantina says, you need a MacBook. Well, yeah, I don't know if the MacBook would actually have Edge, but I actually do have a MacBook I use sometimes here. So let me go ahead and enable this, and you guys can see all the names on the prize wheel. Good luck to everybody. We're going to hit the button here in a second, and it is going to be for the drawing of the 2 smart bulbs. Thanks again for everybody that entered and is watching today. It's slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. And oh my gosh, Anthony, I fixed your name on there because it looked like a phone number, and I did not want you to be on there. But the person named Anthony, I will get in touch with you, and I will be getting out this set of smart bulbs directly to you, so you'll have a choice for that. And again, if you guys are just watching, I do weekly giveaways just like that. It's that easy. The entry odds are forever in your favor on a small channel like this. And if you haven't followed already on Amazon, I'd love it if you could follow. That would be great. Eli says it's hot in Arizona, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In Bullhead, it's about 115. That's really hot. Yeah, like I said, it's 87 here, it says, which is already warm. We're going to go to the last couple products here. Speaking of keeping cool, this product that I've got out here is from the Kiko's company, and it's an insulated water bottle. So we're going to do a quick unboxing. There's a couple interesting things about this. Stainless steel, so I think it's an 18.8 stainless. So that's really cool for the inside. I really don't like drinking plastic. And there's always that plastic flavor that you get from sports bottles, water bottles. Now, they call it a sports bottle, but I almost think of it more as a thermos, a hot and cold thermos here. So I just pulled it out here. I'm going to go ahead and bring the top-down camera in so you guys can see this, because there's a lot of cool that's going on here. And this is from El Kikos. So I'm going to call it Kikos, because I'm thinking the L is going to be silent on this one. And this is their sports bottle. Couple things you'll notice right away. Really nice jet black finish on it. Has an integrated hook cup there that's locked in. It does have a couple extra hooks, and I'll show you what those are. And then it has this opening side. It reminds me of like the original thermos. My mom was in carpentry, and she carried a thermos every day for coffee. It's going to be 50 ounces. So, definitely not a ton, but 50 ounces is quite a bit. I think it's 1.5 liters. So yeah, 1,500 milliliters for you international folks. First thing right off of the bat that I want to point out is I took the cup off. It comes with a mini cup inside of it. That was a really cool thing. So it actually has 2 cups. It has 2 lids there, which is cool. So you've got your outer lid and your inner. So I think you could, again, if you were 2 people and you wanted to, do hot cocoa or something for a kid or do another coffee for somebody else. I go fishing a lot, and I could definitely see this for an early morning fishing trip. Get 50 ounces. Take a look on the inside of that. Now, there's something down there I'm going to pull out of the bottom here, because that's another cool accessory. We've got a couple quality check stuff. Disilicate packet, don't eat. But then they have the strap. So this is actually the carrying strap comes inside of it, and that's what loops around these 2 loops here. So you'll actually have the ability to carry this over your shoulder, sling it, so you're not having to hold the handle every time. So that's another really cool feature about it. Other things about this one is it's got an integrated filter. Now it's just a screen filter, so I'm guessing if you wanted to do a tea, like a brewed tea in this, you could do that. And this will get everything from those leaves. But that's, once you filled it up, and actually let me see if I can show you there. There is a 304 marking on the bottom, and I'm not sure if that's the type of stainless in there. It says SUS 304 in the bottom, I noticed. Okay, so another problem I've had with my other ones is they have a really like a pour fitting that you open up and then you pour them and then they leak from that. When you close it down, then no matter what, they always have a little bit left in the top. This one has a positive locking, and it does have like a neoprene nipple here to close off. So it's soft. It's not going to just, sit there and drip. That's one of the things I really like. And where you pour from is recessed there and vented. So as you pour it, you're not going to get the gurgle and it's going to go everywhere because it's got that little vent. And there's the larger pour hole. But once you hold it back up, all of that goes back down in. Close it. You're not going to be dripping coffee everywhere, making it look bad. So very cool from the Kiko's company. And I'm looking forward to using this. Like I said, we're probably going to go out on the boat. Now, I can use this in hot or cold. Now, tomorrow's going to be really hot. So literally, I think it's going to be another 87-degree day. They're calling it a heat warning because in Seattle, like 87 kills people. But I'm lucky enough to have AC. But we're going to head out on the boat tomorrow. So I might put some cold beverages in here, maybe some ice. And that's going to keep cool. I'm also going to have the cooler that's available to me. So if I didn't want to go in and out of that cooler, I can carry this thing. A couple important things. Why is this, compared to a Yeti, why is the Yeti so popular? Yeti is a double-walled, insulated cup, mug, container, whatever you want. This is also a double-walled, meaning that the outside metal does not touch the inside metal. So if you look at it, and I take this all the way apart again for you, if I look down the bottom there, this is actually on the inside a little, it's not actually the outside you're seeing, it's a little air gap in between those. So that's what it means by double-walled insulated stainless steel. It's also stainless steel wherever you're touching here, other than this very small part at the top that has that kind of that, like almost like a neoprene feel. It's a very soft plastic seal. Other than that seal, that gasket material, the rest of this is stainless, which I really like. So what's touching your beverage is stainless. And it can be used both with hot and cold, which is another cool thing. So that is from Kiko's. That is a water bottle. So 304 stainless steel. That's Constantino's telling that. And just checking real quick. Wouldn't that leave an odor in it they're talking about if you put stuff in it? You could put soups and other stuff in this. I've seen that with our kids. If we want to send them somewhere with a soup, they love ramen. But if I want to send them with broth or something hot in there, you could do that. I love the stainless because it doesn't retain odor as much as plastics. I've gotten a few of the Starbucks plastic bottles, containers, and I really don't like them. If I get those as gifts, I re-gift them right away. The other cool thing, like I said, is actually this second cup. You've got like 2 mini cups in here. So if you want to share a beverage with somebody, they've got just enough room to do that. One last thing I want to show you on this one is when you turn it, it's got a positive snap locking. So you see it's right there. Let me pull this up on the other camera. So you can see it's not quite indexed. It just popped and it locked into position. So that snaps and stays there. So that's from, again, Kiko's company. This is their stainless. Now this screams guy's water bottle to me, right? Like I said, it'd probably be more of a thermos because it's got 50 ounces. But, we're all supposed to be drinking more water for our health these days. And this is from Kiko's company. Let's go take a quick look at Amazon, make sure I didn't forget anything super important, which I always do. And I'm going to bring this up. It is available on Prime. And it's going to actually show you when I ordered it, because I ordered it on July 1st. So I ordered this one for myself here. It does not have ratings yet, but the one rating it does is 5 stars. So that's pretty cool to see. There's going to be 72 hours cold or 48 hours hot. One-handed open. Yep, you can definitely push that out. So if you are holding a fishing rod in one hand, you can definitely open this up one-handed, which is pretty cool. Oh, copper coated. That's one thing I was looking for right there. You guys see that? So that is the Yeti's claim to fame. So even though this has got the stainless steel, which is going to be great for corrosion resistance, the copper reflective insulation, so copper coated insulation, that's how you get the long duration out of it. So I'll talk about that in my full review on this. There's definitely some pictures of taking it out hiking, and it does not have a whole window in there, but it is leak proof. So I just love this picture because it's going to say that it won't leak. That's one of the biggest problems I have with my other one is it does drip, which I don't like. And then there's definitely the 2 lids, the strap, and the other side strap, like they were showing, does collapse. So you can pull it in and out and collapse it. So That's from Kiko's company. I'm going to use that tomorrow. I'll let you guys know what I think about it in the full review video that we get. And we're down to the last product here as well. And this again is one I did cover a little bit earlier from the Wyze company, and I was not able to demo it during the Wyze show. So summer is dishwasher safe. That's a great question. Sorry about that. I did not look to see dishwasher. I'm guessing not. It does not have the word dishwasher, but I will scour it and find out for you. Constantino was asking that. Is it dishwasher safe on the Amazon? So I will talk about that here in just a second. Let me pull up the next product that we've got going on for us. And this is from the Wyze company. Let me get the box for it. I'm going to kind of go into both products in detail because they're very related. But this is their Wyze Cam Outdoor V2. Now, the V2 is what made all the difference. The Wyze Cam Outdoor V2 on this one, the starter bundle. Now, V2 is tiny in right there in that little tiny print there. You will also almost not be able to tell the difference just looking at them. You'll have to probably open the app to know which one you've got. The V2 has the Starlight night vision sensor. So when they're doing the color night vision ads that I've shown before, this one has that color night vision capability. It is available right now for $79.98. Now you're saying, wait, Wyze is a $35 camera, the Wyze Cam V3. Yes, it is, but this one is completely wireless. So it is got, I believe it's a 5200 milliamp hour battery. We'll check the stats here in a sec. It's heavy. This thing is a little brick. And it's definitely different than the Wyze Cam V3. I don't have one sitting around, surprisingly, but it's definitely a different shape here. And then it's got the different front of the big circle of black there than the Wyze Cam. So it is battery powered, like I mentioned. It has the flexible base, very similar to the Wyze. The base is not magnetic, so you can't do that. It is, however, removable, and it's magnetic to the top of the base. Now, why would they do it this way? The way I've installed mine, it's actually on a tree out back. So I mounted it this way, and if I need to go recharge it, I take it out and I can do that. Now, charge rates vary from, I think they say a max of 6 months, but that would be like in a corner where nobody gets any alerts, to a maximum of like a month I've seen people get, or less if there's a firmware problem. But you know, the battery in here does last. The advantage, though, is that this thing is a platform for extensibility. Now, neat thing here, they also actually sent me out this. This is the Wyze solar panel. Now, some people were asking me immediately. They're like, hey, can I use the Wyze solar panel with the V3 camera? No, you can't. That camera does not have a battery. So really the Wyze solar panel is almost exclusively used right now for the outdoor V2 or the V1. The V1 supports the same thing. Now, one thing you'll notice about mine that's slightly different is I've already pulled off the back seal. Now, if you're going to use this in a completely battery mode, there is a cover that covers the charging port and the on-off switch. So that's one of the other things about this that's important to point out, is if you're going to hook it up to solar like I did mine, you need to pull that cover off. Now, you could reinsert it later if you ever needed to, but that's one major difference that you'll see there. So mine doesn't have it. Let's take a look at the quality of this thing. Now, I didn't do an unboxing of it, but I'll tell you, back over here behind me, I actually have this little Star Wars looking repeater receiver. This is another big variation that comes with the Wyze Cam versus all the other ones. I showed you one from Daihoom the other day. I showed you an outdoor from Blue Rams during the Prime show, and they've got some great products. Again, all price competitive in this range, and they have different features. So the Blue Rams one doesn't have a base station. Wyze went with a base station, and I think it was a wise idea, and I'll tell you why. Well, one, it's got a charging port here, so you can actually charge the camera from the base if you want. It has an SD card slot on the base station. So you can see here, this has a little tiny card slot. You put an SD card in the base, somebody steals your camera, you still have the footage. Another thing is it's dual backup, because if you want to put a micro SD in this, now I have never taken this apart, but you've got a little micro SD slot in the camera itself as well. So I know some people are concerned about having the footage if the cloud is down or anything happens. That is absolutely capable right there, and that is it. Couple other questions. Can you do continuous live video with these? You could, but the battery life's going to suffer immensely. So that's one thing to be really careful of, is how much live video. Eli says, let's hit 15K for YouTube soon. Hey man, I'm down with you if you are. I want to get there as well. So I'm going to open up my Wise app and I'm going to pull this camera up. Again, this is one I just stole from outdoors. I was not able to demo this during Prime days, and I felt bad about that. So I wanted to show you what we've got going here. Now you can see already in my hand the picture that it's got, and the picture that it's got is really good. Let me pull up the app here. So there I am. I'm going to be delayed. The voice is not going to match up because this camera has a delay. So if I clap real quick, you can see that there's about a 1 second delay, maybe a 1.5. I can lift this thing up and I can move it around. Kind of give you a studio tour. I know, Jonathan, you want to see all the lights I got going on here? People were asking about lights and what's going on. I got a lot of different rigs going on. But again, all completely wireless. You notice I'm carrying this thing around and it's battery powered. Now, mine just happens to be at like 15%. I don't know if it says that here. Let me go into that. Oh, 17%, and now it went up to 86. I think it's actually changing. That's at 320. Let's go to the highest resolution it'll get. Now, you'll notice there's a little graininess artifacting, and that's the compression that they're using on Wise. But as it settles down a little bit here, you're going to notice that this is a 1080p camera, and it does have active night vision. It does have the Starlight night vision sensor, which means it's going to look really good. All of these cameras get really blown out by my studio lights because they're not designed for that dynamic range. But I can tell you outside, this thing looks really cool, and I'll throw that in as well. Other couple things that are interesting about this over all of the other models that I tested, this is the only one that has a travel mode. So you can connect not only this camera to your base, you can connect up to 4 cameras to every base unit. And there's the base unit is what I put in the carousel. You can add additional cameras. I think it's $10 less if you just buy the camera. But you can add up to 4 cameras, and then you can take these with you. So if you wanted to do like the most epic time lapse of a road trip on your car, you could put these in all corners of your car, take them with you with no Wi-Fi, or use them as a hotel security. And with no Wi-Fi, they'll continuously record locally on the base unit, which is pretty slick. So that's another advantage that none of the other manufacturers that I'm aware of use. And so this thing, again, has its own capability. Another big problem that we have is Wi-Fi signal strength outdoors. So where this, and the reason it didn't demo real well last time, is I keep this out in one of my outbuildings that's near my backyard that has internet. And then this thing connects Wi-Fi closer to the playground area that we have. So I don't have to have my Wi-Fi in my house, reach my camera that's in the backyard. I'm actually able to do that with this repeater, which is really slick. So really cool unit. Again, fairly small. Almost miss it if you weren't looking for it. Let me pull up some photos of how my install worked on this. Go into Google Photos. Give me 1 second. It's going to ask me to re-authenticate. Okay. I want to show you guys some of the pictures of this. This is for our second show. Let me see if I've got those here. There we go. The new outdoor camera plus solar. So let me go ahead and get that shared out to you guys so you guys can see it. And there's the unit. This is actually, this might even be where I've got my V1 unit. There's the solar panel that I installed. Now, I don't have power back by my playground, but I do have the solar panel installed. And I can get, even in Seattle with the limited light that we have, I can keep this thing continuously powered with that little tiny solar panel. Hey, Rome Knows Techs, welcome. Hey, thanks. And it says great stream. I really do appreciate that, man. I am just showing off right now the Wise Cam Outdoor V2 with the Starlight Night Vision sensor. I won't take you guys through the Starlight Night Vision sensor, but you can take a look at a lot of the other Wise cameras. I have videos of the Starlight Night Vision and how amazingly awesome it is. I am going to switch real quick over to the, give me 1 second, the solar panel. So just like I showed you in some of those pictures, this thing's going to have, let's say, a month, 2-3 months of battery life already. I charged mine up just a few hours ago from 17, I think, to 80% in a couple hours. So you are going to have to take it down every few hours just to charge, no, sorry, every few months just to charge for a few hours and then put it back. If you want a different solution for charging, this is the best solution that accompanies this. Now, this again was sent for a fair and honest review from Wyze. Thank you guys. That makes it possible to do this kind of stuff. This is the first time I've unboxed this one. I actually bought the solar panel even before they sent it to me because I wanted to have one. And now I actually have the ability to have 2 solar powered cameras, which is great for both of my cam outdoors. Make sure to update the firmware to the latest. They're giving you that little hint here. And always do that. That's one of the cool things about Wyze is they are actively, constantly fixing bugs, security. You know, there have been security issues with almost every single manufacturer out there. Wyze is no exception, but they do fix those with constant security updates. So, you know, you can see that. So I'm just opening this box now. This is the solar panel itself, and it comes with that long cable. So I'm going to put that down there. This is the little stubby cable that it replaces your current output with. So you have that. So right now it doesn't have that little charging cable on yours. You have a regular one. Let's take a look at this. I think this is the mount itself. Yep. Okay. And the mount is actually really easy to use. If you can know which end of a screwdriver to use, you can get this thing mounted. Let's take a look at the quick start guide. Again, they are known for their pictographic guides. They're also very easy to install if you use the app. They walk through the app. This is just a few steps. Another thing that I like is that this is a 4-meter cable, so 12 feet. A lot of times, like in my situation, my camera's on one side of the tree that doesn't get any light. All the lights on the other side of that tree. I ran the cable over, and I could have run it 12 more feet away, or 10 more feet away at least. So that's a 12-foot cable that's wrapped up in there. Let me show you how to assemble the base because it's super easy. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer them. It's going to come with a few things. If you've got concrete or masonry, you can drill and then use those anchors. These anchors are not as good for drywall. I would just skip the anchors if you were going to put this into drywall and just not go too crazy on those screws, and you'll make it work. So there are 4 screws in there. You do need to take this collar and put it over that long base. Now that base is adjustable, you see. What ends up happening as you tighten this down, so this moves around, so it swivels in any direction. As you tighten this down, it actually stops the swiveling action. So if you want to have this angled towards the sun, loosen this up. We'll just mount it properly. So I'm going to mount this to the solar panel real quick. Oh, sorry. I should not skip one more step. So we do have to put this other collar up here. This is a retention device so that you can tighten that up. Let me tighten these up. And then I'm going to go down here to the Wyze solar panel. I'm just going to thread this in so you guys can see how I'm doing that. I'm going to tighten it down. You don't have to go all the way down the threads. Actually, I don't want you to. I want you to be able to use this because you can then angle this and then just tighten that, and you don't have to worry that it's going to stop at a certain area. So if you're trying to get this thing angled towards the sun, like I need to get it to angle upward, right? So if I've got a wall, I can angle it up a little bit. I tighten this back collar down, and it's actually going to tighten against that little angle right there. You see how it's angled? Now I can tighten that last piece, and there we go. So it'll sit. So you drill this into the wall or item first, then you thread this collar onto it, and then you can put your solar panel on, and Bob's your uncle. As far as how this connects to the charger, so you've got your camera that I talked about before. You actually have this waterproof connector, so you push that in through the back, and it has a waterproof connector to the solar panel right here. You plug all that in, and hopefully, if you've got as much sun as we do in Seattle, which is not much, this thing should keep itself continuously charged in an active area like my playground, which it does right now. So that is from the Wyze company. That is the Wyze solar panel that goes on their product as well. Let me take a look at the chat. I'm going to see who else we got in here. You're 1 hour ahead. Rare Apples joined us here. Very cool to see. He's one of my editors. He's actually done a lot of really cool stuff. He asked about the beverage container earlier. Sorry, I just saw your message here. How long will it stay cold and hot? I believe it said 48 hours cold and 72 hot, or vice versa. That's what the numbers were. The color night vision is amazing. That is absolutely true from Rare as well. I love that. And just want to again thank Jonathan Talks Hardware, another really cool channel. If you guys have not checked him out, he's trying it out. He did a build stream the other day. I was watching that here. I was actually coming back home, so I was listening to more of it than I was watching in the car. But that was a really cool show. So he's there in the chat. Lots of creators here. I want to thank you guys all for coming and visiting again. Trying to do more of these shows. I want to thank all of the vendors that we're able to send products in here. These brands are definitely helping us out by showing these cool things. So definitely support them. If you are wondering where you can find any of these things, the URL for that is down below, or it's in the description of the video wherever you're watching it right now. So this has been John the Net Guy. I want to thank VONT for, again, being our show sponsor today and sponsoring the giveaway for their smart bulbs. Let's go ahead and pull one of those out again. And I want to thank Astro AI. Again, I'll have a full video review coming for their product soon. But again, if you need a very cool smart bulb and you want 55% off right now, that's what's available for these smart bulbs. And I will be getting Anthony your smart bulbs on the way to you very soon, just like all of the other winners last week. Let's check one more time in the questions here. I have the Wise Cam Outdoor and only have 4 channels. Do I need another Wise app if I add another camera? No, but you actually do need to add another base station. Great question from Jeff, was just asking that. He asked if I have the base station over here and I already have 4 outdoor cameras, just add another base. So order the one that's got the kit with another base. It's $10 more and you can add 4 more cameras and you can keep doing that. There's no limits on the Wise account. I actually have the Wise Cam Plus Unlimited, so I can get 100 products in there. It was after about 3 or 4, the Cam Plus subscription doesn't make any more sense, so you just go with the Unlimited and you can have that for the same monthly fee. So great question. Thank you, Jeff, for that question. And thank all of you guys. And can I be your VC on the, I don't know what the VC is on the next Tech Tuesday, Jonathan. You have to tell me that. I'm not all cool on these the lingo. But I have no idea what a VC is, you know, but we can definitely do some cool stuff. Next week, I believe I'm doing, knock on wood, the 12700K build in the Vetru K1 Pangolin. So I'm going to do that really cool flight simulator build, hopefully next week live. And if not, it'll be another product show, but I guarantee it'll be cool. And I guarantee we'll be giving something really cool away. Thank you guys all in the chat for participating. And thank you again to these brands and VONT for being our sponsor. I will catch you guys all in a future video.